the scene. I mean, he sets it magically with nothing happening, just this endless. Well, that do you know that landscape? Do you know Finland?
Yeah, I sure do. Definitely,
Yeah.
the atmosphere, even just
Those endless horizons.
The even just the feeling of the air when you breathe.
Yeah.
You know, this sort of very crisp.
It's dry.
Dry.
It's dry, and yet there's nothing clinical about the music. I don't think. I mean, it has to be. It has to be right. It has to be accurate. But that opening is just, the entry of the fiddle in the middle of nowhere. I'm literally in the middle of nowhere. I can see from where he writes the orchestra accompaniment, it's so brilliantly gauged. So, even if he's using quite a big orchestra, as long as the orchestra, the body of the sound is a good octave below what you're doing,
Exactly.
then you're going to soar over the top.
In the second theme of the first movement, he has this incredible, this kind of syncopated...
4 against 6 against 8 against...
Yeah. And when you listen to it, it sounds really intuitive. But when you look at how it's been notated, there's a kind of richness and complexity and emotional tug and pull that he's tried to notate by having this rhythmical interplay that wouldn't be there if it was just, square. And that's what's so interesting about what we do, right? Is that through the different nationalities of the composers that we play and through the different styles and historical epochs that we interpret, we get a whole insight into a whole gamut of psychological states of mind and cultural reactions to that. And the music somehow informs us in a way. It's like information, right?
It completely informs us. And, actually going back to something we were talking about earlier, is that it's available to everybody without necessarily knowing the culture or the history or the language or the literature. If I listen to Ravel or Satie or Rameau, suddenly, because I'm a musician, or because we're all musicians, I feel as though I'm totally fluent in that particular language.
Also in the Sibelius Concerto, I mean, the emotion is so powerful, so in this kind of deep and dark, there's a definite, kind of dark and emotional, probing quality about that whole piece.
When we talk about dark, deep emotions, it's all there in the colours of the orchestration, the use of the bass instruments.
I do think that the Finns are completely passionate about music, and composing is very second nature to them. They have lots of very interesting composers. Music has this way of entering the subconscious in a very sort of soft and unconscious way, and I witnessed that at the time of performing the Sibelius and being in Finland, and I realized I know these people. I've heard this music. I've been through their state of mind. I've suffered with them, or I've rejoiced with them all through the music that I performed, even though I was in New York at the time.
I love that a New Yorker can actually know the Finnish people, having never been there. And I think you're right.
as we were talking about, that really fun moment in the third
finale.
movement, which is like almost a Latin American dance, you know.
It's I wanna be in America, yada da
Oh,
da
yeah.
da 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 da. Yeah, no, it's the 3 and the 2. It's what I actually came across in the folk music tradition. I spent some time in Peru and in Chile, and they have a lot of what they call marinara.
And we were saying that we would love to actually hold up, you know, to campaign for this swing the moment.
We may be the first to ever do it, because firstly you've got to find a soloist and a conductor who agree about it.
Yeah.
And you obviously feel it, but you've also studied the score, and the information is on the page.
Mm-hmm.
But for convenience,
Yeah.
I have only ever seen conductors direct it in a simple 3. I love about working with you and your playing is that there is an immediacy to what you do and a spontaneity, so that how you will play your Sibelius or your Bach or whatever it might be will actually depend on the moment, will depend on that hall, that public. And you may have played the same music last night in the same hall, but because there's something about the chemistry, about the dynamic of tonight, now, it feels different.
Yeah.
And you're prepared, you're able to change, you're versatile, you're spontaneous, you live in the moment.
There's something about performing with orchestra that is unlike anything else. That mass of people, that massive sound, the momentum that rhythm sort of carries. You're on a high, you're carried by this rhythm, and you just have to go with the force. And, and it's...
With the force.
Yeah. And that's what makes it, and when it happens, it's just one of the best feelings you can ever get. I mean, it's like being on a roller coaster.
Yeah, and I love that metaphor. I've got the best seat in the house. And I at times, I feel as though, hey, I'm along for the ride. Wow, this is thrilling.